prosecution will prove without a shadow of a doubt that at 7 p.m. on the night in question, this man, this Subaru salesperson, Ding Fender, this contemptible, cold-blooded assassin, did commit the crime of murder when he killed a leasing sale to this lovely potential lessee, Miss Melissa Darlington.
Your Honor, I object. This is character assassination. My client is innocent of killing a leasing sale. Why, Mr. Fender is an excellent salesperson.
I'll allow it. Anyone who would allow this lovely lady to walk out without leasing a Subaru Legacy is beneath contempt. Continue, Miss Scornflake.
The prosecution calls Zygmunt Veracos the world's leading authority on the growth of leasing and its popularity.
Objection. Your Honor, we've been over this ground before. Everyone knows that leasing is a hot new way to sell Subaru vehicles.
I'm going to allow this witness, Mr. Frothing Slosh. The jury needs this evidence. I think it's a great way to sell cars.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. We intend to prove continuous growth in retail leasing right through to this very day. A prosecution calls Zygmunt Veracos leasing authority.
And so, the growth of leasing is substantial. This is a fact. Retail leasing. Leasing to the kind of customers Ding Fender sees every day is bigger this year than last year, and last year was bigger than the year before. According to a recent automotive news report, leasing has actually been helped by the down market. With money tight, leasing is another sales tool for all salespeople. A way for customers to buy a new car with no down payment, with lower payments than financing.
Can you give us any statistics?
Absolutely. Industry surveys show first-time lessees are younger and earn far less than customers who have been leasing for years. That means leasing is no longer just for the wealthy. Leasing's gaining acceptance by thousands and thousands of customers.
And in another vein, Mr. Veracos, can you tell us...
Objection! Varicose? Vein? I mean, come on, what is this?
I'm warning you, Mr. Frothing Slosh. Hold your tongue.
Oh, as I was saying,
Can you tell us how leasing is gaining acceptance even as we speak?
Oh, yes. According to the New York Times, leases are increasing by 15 to 20% per year. That's substantial. And in another vein, Automotive Fleet magazine reports that once a consumer leases a middle or lower priced car, 90% lease another one. For more up-to-date facts on the importance of leasing in today's growing market, I suggest that you take the deposition of the Subaru rep seated right over there on the other side of the screen. Are you there?
Your Honor, the prosecution will prove that the accused, Ding Fender, at the time of the crime did fully understand leasing. The prosecution calls Bruce Time to buy you. State your name and occupation, please.
Bruce Time to Buy You, automobile dealer, sales manager, and owner of Time to Buy a Subaru.
Objection.
On what grounds?
Time to buy a Subaru? I mean, come on, that's probably one of the worst puns since Young Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein. Overruled. Continue, Miss Scornflake.
Is it not true, sir, that Mr. Fender is one of your top salespeople?
Oh, yes, one of the best.
And did he not conduct a sales meeting for your entire staff on the subject of leasing? An excellent sales meeting?
That he did.
Bruce, tell the court in your own words what you recollect from that meeting.
Well, he began by telling everybody about this intriguing little sketch of a car that he draws for every prospect.
We wish to mark this People's Exhibit D, Your Honor. And then what did he say at this meeting?
I remember his exact words. He said, here's a good way to explain the difference between leasing and buying.
Here's a good way to explain the difference between leasing and buying to your customers.
And then he said something peculiar. He smiled and said, everybody benefits. The dealership, the salespeople, and the customer. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've been in the car business for 21 years, and I must admit I had tears in my eyes when he said that.
Counsel, approach the bench. I want to review this testimony. I'm calling a short recess, and then I want you to put Mr. Time to Buy you right back in that witness chair.
Now, Bruce, before the recess, you stated that the defendant made a peculiar statement.
Objection! Witness has already stated that everyone benefits. The dealership, the salespeople, the customers. Isn't that enough?
I'm going to allow it. This is essential for everyone's welfare. I'm all ears. Continue, Miss Scornflake.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, sir, can you tell us how leasing benefits your dealership, or any other dealership for that matter?
Of course. With leases, a dealership enjoys shorter trade cycles. Leases usually run 2, 3, 4 years. And we know exactly when a lessee is ready to trade. And he has to come back to us at the end of the lease. It's beautiful. Oh, and reports show that people who lease tend to return to the same dealership and the same brand for their next lease. And leasing often yields higher grosses.
Now, there are benefits to salespeople as well, are there not?
Oh, sure.
Oh, well, can you tell us about the benefits to these salespeople?
Well, 1, more chances to close. 2, higher commissions. And 3, leasing is an alternative way to sell in a competitive market environment.
Then is it your testimony that Miss Darlington should have leased on the night in question?
Certainly. It was a good deal for her.
Thank you, Bruce. Now, Miss Darlington, if Mr. Fender was doing his job, he would have reviewed all the benefits of leasing with you. Did he?
Yes, he did. And I thought he did a wonderful job of explaining everything so nicely, and I thought that...
Please, Miss Darlington, just answer the questions. Now, can you list the benefits to consumers?
Okay, well... Let's see, there's, Oh, yes, depreciating property. Oh, this is a good one. Rather than investing in an automobile, something that depreciates in value, people who lease can put their money into something that appreciates, a bank account or some other investment. Or they can use the money for a vacation, tuition payments, home improvements, whatever they'd like. And, I guess that's just about all the benefits I can remember.
Flexible lease and options, for crying out loud.
Order! Order! Mr. Frothing Flush, try to control your client.
Frothing slush, Your Honor.
Well, what about these flexible lease and options, Melissa?
With the Subaru lease, at lease end, the customer can choose to exercise the fixed price purchase option. This is especially attractive if the vehicle happens to be worth more at the end of the lease than the lease end value stated in the agreement. In that case, the customer has lots of choices. He can elect to buy the car, or sell it, or trade it in at a profit. Or the customer can just walk away.
Thank you. Your Honor, the prosecution rests.
Rests? This woman knows her benefits backwards and forwards. Where's your case?
One simple fact. As of this very moment, no lease has been signed.
We'll take a short recess. Back to you, Subaru. Golly, that rhymed, didn't it? Back to you, Subaru. Did you hear that, bailiff? Had a nice rhythm to it, a real ring.
And is it your testimony that Ding introduced the subject of leasing to you right in the showroom shortly after you had selected a car to purchase?
Yes.
Didn't you realize that it only took a minute or so and that he used that line on just about everyone?
Well, not at the time. But it was a beautiful thing to watch. I had just said I wanted the red Legacy L with automatic transmission, and he said...
Okay, well, let's look at some numbers.
All right, Mr. Fender, and your testimony is that you introduced the subject of leasing to everyone, whether or not they mention it first?
Yeah. Well, of course, everyone isn't a prospect, but what the heck? It only takes about a minute, and you'd be amazed at how many people are interested.
And you say?
Well, I just thought I'd mention it. A lot of people are leasing Subaru cars. I thought the idea of saving money would appeal to you, followed by lower monthly payments, no big down payment. Like I say, it's no big deal to bring it up, and it works.
Mr. Fender, that was impressive testimony. I'd like to see an instant replay on that. Roll it.
And then a normal part of every leasing sale is handling objections. Isn't that true?
Certainly.
And knowing what those objections are probably going to be and how to answer them is a key to closing a lease.
Objection, 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 objection!
That sounds about right to me. You're going to cover 4 of the most common objections.
That's right, Judge.
Go to it, my boy.
All right, Mr. Fender, please tell us your response to this one. I make all these payments, and in the end, I have nothing to show for it. When I buy, I own my car.
Well, Mr. Customer...
Okay, here's another one. I drive a lot more than your mileage allowance.
Of course you drive more than the mileage allowance.
Here's another one. With a lease, I can't get out early. I don't want to get locked in.
Mr. Customer...
Here's number 4. I had a friend who got burned. Low payments, sure, but in the end he had to pay thousands of dollars.
All right, there's a good chance that your friend was the victim of a poorly designed lease contract.
Before I pass sentence, do you have any final words in your own behalf, Mr. Fender?
Oh, please, Judge Whopper, I do. Dean Fender is innocent of any crime. If there must be a guilty party, oh, let it be me. It's all my fault.
Order! Order!
I don't know what got into me. I wanted that 36-month legacy lease, but I wanted Ding even more. He said, "Welcome to Time to Buy You, Subaru, I'm Ding." And my heart went dong, and I heard wedding bells. I wanted to be Ding's permanent be-back. Give me that lease, Your Honor. I'll quit stalling around.
You're just a couple of minutes too late, little lady. During the last recess, I signed that lease. What a car! Charges are dropped, case dismissed.
Melissa, I didn't know.
Oh, Ding.
Ring a ding-ding.
Oh, you say the cutest things.